as
Yeah.
far as J Stu. Let's go ahead and go back for a minute and let's go to the beginning. You're from Stockton, California, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you grew up in Stockton, and your upbringing is put lightly a difficult one, right?
Yeah.
And go ahead and take us through what it was like growing up in Stockton and what kind of memories you have growing up and the maybe the trials and tribulations that you had to face that the average person doesn't have to face, or actually a couple of our viewers might be faced
Right,
with.
right. Well, shit, I was like probably about 4 or 5, already walking up and down the streets of Stockton by myself, or with whoever, kid wise. Like I was on that type of time. I feel like when you grow up in the jungle, bro, you don't, I don't know, man. Like you just not really as aware of it as you should be. So it's not out of place for you. You feel like it's just the norm, like
Absolutely, it comes secondhand because you're used to it.
facts. And
Right.
so when I would hear the whole like you can not the quote, bro, you can take a nigga out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of me. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's facts, bro. Like you can go anywhere and just feel that shit is different. Like I still got like a sore thumb everywhere I went. But coming up out there, man, I did whatever the fuck I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like I didn't have no supervision because my mom's was on drugs, and then I went from that straight into foster care and shit like that. From ages probably like
So
from
let's
6
let's touch
up.
on that. How did you end? What was there a situation or an incident that happened that led you being in foster care, or was it just
Yeah, there was two of them. The first one was my mom had a boyfriend or some dude she was fucking with, and just to make it a long story short, I'm a kid, don't know how strong I am apparently, and we're playing tag or hide and go seek or some shit. I hit him too hard. He came after me looking for me. I hid under my mom's bed. He took his belt off. We had a buckle, and he went to try to hit me under the bed, and it made a big old gash on my face right here.
so?
So,
So when you were a kid, a grown man
yeah,
hit you with the belt buckle on your face.
yeah.
Okay. So what happened
So
after that?
so at that point I got a big old slice, like it's just all red, it's all bad right here on my face.
There's blood everywhere.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, man. I worked ghetto fabulous. I picked the shirt up, put that shit on my face. I don't know, man. I just held it
Right.
there. Next door, our neighbors were like
This is when you were
always,
6.
yeah.
Okay.
Our neighbors were always getting into domestic shit. So, cops would get called. Anyways, they just happened to be there. We came outside like dummies and they seen what it was with a kid.
I
Why
mean,
is
you were
this
6, bro. There's no
yeah.
dummies about it. You were
Well, I
six
mean,
years old.
that's how I was feeling about it though at the
Yeah.
time. I didn't know no better.
I
So,
have a 6-year-old daughter, and if somebody did that to my daughter,
oh, I
I
know.
wouldn't be here around to be able to do this to you.
Facts.
So don't feel bad about that shit happening to you because it wasn't your fault as a 6-year-old child. But I'm sorry for
No, you
interrupting
good,
you.
you
Go
good.
ahead. So the cops come
Um,
around.
but yeah, they came and they seen what it was, so they put my mom in the car. At that point, we were all going crazy. She was trying to fight the cops. I'm not trying to let them touch me. It's a big old thing. They call CPS, and they then when CPS comes in, they got a chart with like a body on there. It's a regular old body where they ask you, "Have you ever been touched here? You ever
Right.
been? Do you have any bruises here? Have you been hit here?" Like it's a long list of bullshit you got to go through. And I'm saying bullshit on my end because when I'm giving you all the mental state I was in when I was a kid. Like I didn't care what I went through. I just wanted to be with my mom, bro. Like that's the only family member I had outside of a couple of my sisters and stuff. So,
Right.
um, yeah, it was
So this
just
was
that was the first time.
this was your mom's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Okay. So where was your dad at this time?
I didn't know my dad. I didn't know what the fuck that nigga was doing. But
Okay. So your dad wasn't around.
nah, he wasn't around. I didn't find him until I was like 21.
Okay. So this first incident, obviously CPS gets involved.
Mm-hmm.
They give your mom another chance and put you back with her, or
They put me in some it was something called First Step. Like it was like a baby group home. Like it was weird. I don't
how
know,
long did
man.
you last in there?
Not very long, maybe less than a month. Like
Oh, okay. So
she
they
had to go do some like doing some classes real quick, and then just be like, I'm not gonna do this, do that. She was on her shit, got me back.
so at this point your mom's on drugs.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah,
your mom's going through it herself,
yeah.
and then she has that character in her life
Hmm.
that took the belt to your head. Um, this I'm assuming this leads to another incident.
Yeah, cause I came back, and then when I was about, I'll say about 7. It was about 7 or 8, somewhere in there. We go to my uncle's car wash, and he owned this. He was like, I don't know if he owned it or he was the manager of it, but those real big stall car washes where you can
Yes.
drive a car into.
Yeah.
Well, he had it for all a bunch of diesels. They had a whole bunch of diesels lined up over there. We took our station wagon because before we had a station wagon, we was just walking all up and down Stockton everywhere. Um, so we had an old school station wagon, and my step pops, which is my youngest sister's dad, was in it driving, and I was with him. And I get out. Well, I guess the stall didn't work, and what I ended up doing was, all right, bet. So I'm gonna go this way. He's like, all right, watch out. I'm finna back the car out. We're just gonna take it to a different one. Me being the badass kid that I was, I'm like, yeah, I'll watch out. And like a dummy, I got on the bumper because you used to be able to open up the trunk or just the glass piece of the trunk. Well, I opened the glass piece, snuck my fingers in there, and I'm thinking, I'm finna, I'm finna scare him or something. And so he's backing up, he hits the gas a little fast, and he stops. I fall off, and he starts going up more. And the car starts kind of coming over me. My hand gets stuck in something. And at this point, I'm trying to, I'm trying to get out of there, wiggle out of there. I'm not going nowhere. It had my hand stuck, and my hand is going up like this the whole time. And so as this, my arm's breaking, basically it broke. In the car, I'm hitting my face. On the bottom of the car, I'm screaming his name, screaming my mom's government, trying to get him to come out. Eventually, she gets him. She comes out, tells him to go forward. My arm comes out, boom, lands on the ground. I look at my arm. I'm like, oh shit, it's ripped off. Like I can't feel it. Like, and when I try to move it, it hurts so bad I can't move it.
You got ran over by the car?
Yeah, I got dragged and ran over. So I was like on the back of my head under the car.
How old were you?
About 7.
You were still 6 or 7?
Yeah, I was about 7, maybe 7.5, right there.
Okay,
Yeah.
and this is your uncle?
No, this was my sister's step pop. This the other dude. So it was the boyfriend, and then after that was my youngest sister's dad was the one that was around.
Oh, okay.
So he was the one that introduced her to all kind of other drugs and bad habits and shit like that. But
so another man around your mom.
Yeah.
So you just didn't have good luck with men.
That's why I was a grown up since like 6 or 7. I had to be the one making food or washing dishes or catching fades.
Is that when you were removed from the house?
Yeah, that when my arm got spit out, my uncle hopped on me screaming and shit, like, shaking me, are you okay? Obviously I'm not. I'm sitting there bloody, arms all mangled.
7 and my arms ripped off.
Come on. So they ended up calling the ambulance. This is how I got taken. They called the ambulance. So there was reporters there. People was taking pictures and shit. This is back when the newspaper was a little more popping than what it is now. So they had threw my article in the paper. And when they had me in the ambulance taking me down there is when I guess they must have just, hey, the fuck was going on? What happened? I'm sure if somebody got drug tested along the way because when I was in the hospital for a while, so I couldn't walk. Like I lost so much blood, I was hella weak, and they ended up taking me from that hospital, which was in Stockton. Well, yeah, we'll say Stockton. It's a little piece of it. It's Mary Graham Hall area. So when back before they had a whole bunch of new buildings that are over there, I was over there back when it was just this real big orphanage, another one, and then they had the hospital. So I was at the hospital. They took me from the hospital to the little orphanage. So basically, it's just me and like 50, 60, I don't even know, other dudes in this place that looks like fucking Harry Potter land or some shit. I don't know. But it was crazy, man. So that's when that was the second time. Then that put me in a whole string of going from foster homes to all type of shit.
So you never went back with your mom after
that? I didn't go back to her. I remember them coming to me one day and they was telling me it had to be like 5th grade, 4th grade or 5th grade. They were telling me how she lost all the rights to me. At that point, she went MIA. So
she was still lost?
Yeah, no, she was gone. Like nobody knew where the fuck she went. Word around Stockton, she got shot, killed, a whole bunch of shit. So she was going through her own trials and tribulations and disappeared off the map. Meanwhile, I'm just doing what I got to do.
You didn't have any other family that was able to take you, uncles, aunts, anybody?
Nah, man, I didn't find out until I was 21 through like one of my uncles on my dad's side. That I guess when that accident happened when I was a kid, they called him somehow. They got a hold of him and called him and asked if he would like to take me. He said no. So